Welcome to the Circle of Love and Light. I'm Dr. Jane Mountrose, here with my partner and husband, Phillip Mountrose, and our wonderful co-host, Gretchen Comer. And our topic today is strengthening your connection with the divine, which is one of my favorites, actually. Oh, by the way, we're also here with our mascot, Buddy. he often shows up for these. So it's focusing on accessing your full range of resources as a spiritual aspirant, a spiritual healer, a light worker, way shower, whatever you are, for helping to support people on the planet in this time of change. So we're here now live on Enlightened World Network, which is at facebook.com/Enlightened World Network, where you can find us each Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time. And you can also watch the video of the circle anytime after that at Awakening Circle of Love and Light on Facebook at facebook.com/Awakening Circle. So today we're going to start with a discussion to provide some insights and tools that we all can use to embrace more love and light and our full range of resources. Then we'll have a meditation with some of the beings of light who support us so lovingly and beautifully from above. And finally, an opportunity to send all of our collective light and love out to the world. So before we go into the discussion, I want to share a couple of things. First, I want to thank you for joining us. Everyone matters at this time. It's such a turbulent time, and love and light are really the solution. So I want to thank you and take this opportunity to invite you to light up your life, to heal, grow, and stand as a beacon of light for the world, the beacon of light that you are. I also want to remind viewers to say hello to us and let us know where you're from, to add your insights and comments. We really appreciate that too. The second thing I want to do is just to take a moment to center ourselves, to bring ourselves more fully into the moment. Just closing our eyes. If you're in a place where you can do that safely, just gently closing your eyes and bringing your attention to your breath and your body. Just letting go of all the thoughts that are running through your head. And knowing that we are in this very moment always supported by these beings of light who are around us, the angels, the masters, guides, many around each and every one of us. And we can breathe in more of the love and light that come directly from them and the divine. Just allowing yourself to feel like yourself in this moment in your body. Letting go, also just asking anything that's not you to to go somewhere else, to send it back where it came from lovingly, so you can fully enjoy this experience. Okay, and with that, I want to introduce our topic. So we're talking about strengthening your connection with the divine, and welcoming Phillip and Gretchen to join in. We're going to have a conversation, just share as many insights and tools, strategies that you can use as we can for today. So Phillip, would you like to start by sharing what connecting with the divine means to you and why it's so important?
Sure. It's great to be here and the circle of love and light. And just to say those words is rather emboldening, encouraging. And one thought, feeling about connecting to the divine is opening your heart and soul. And sometimes that's difficult, but it can be done really at any time. And partly it's just to remember to do so and make it more of a priority. And that the love is always there.
Right. Yeah.
If it may be cloudy, but the sun is still there behind the clouds.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And partly it can be simply just by breathing a little more slowly and deeply. and breathing in that love, and then you can breathe out the love and send it out to wherever.
Right. Yeah. It's beautiful.
And you can also have your hand on your heart too. That's another way to help you do it. So it seems to be what's maybe the most important thing we can do if you
Right.
kind of sit back and reflect on things, and connecting with the heart, the love, and then with your creativity, having the will and taking action.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I want to also welcome Sunny. Sunny is here with her mom, she says,
Great.
on
Hey, hi,
Facebook.
Sunny.
So it's wonderful to see you. Gretchen, would you like to share?
Sure. I feel for me, connection with the divine comes really prominent in my life when I'm expressing gratitude. And it's through the gratitude that we recognize, or I recognize, that I am supported, just even the smallest thing in the moment, and if we can stop and just give thanks in the moment, I think that is something that can be very profound and bring you closer and deepen that connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that just spending some time every day expressing gratitude for everything that I see, for everything that I have. Give gratitude for the spring flowers that are blooming right now. It brings me closer to understanding that connection and deepening that connection.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Spring is wonderful. One of my favorite seasons for sure. And when you look at the importance of connecting with the love that you share in your heart, or hold in your heart, and we're really talking about the heart center, in the center of your chest. You can feel, actually, your thymus gland is right here. If you tap on your thymus gland, it is energetically the source of aliveness in the human body. So if you tap on it, it usually is energizing. And the heart, if you look at the 7 energy centers, the 7 chakras, you have the base. So it's the physical, energetic, physical. The navel is the energetic, emotional. Solar plexus is the mental, and the heart is the spiritual, and it's the spiritual bridge. So you could say it's the bridge to your higher levels of awareness that are in your throat, your expression, your vision, your higher knowing. It all actually, your access comes through that connection that you have with your heart, which is also where your spiritual self connects in with you. And that I think is a real key, because when you connect with the love in your heart, you're connecting with yourself in a way that most people don't, as you can tell, because there's not enough, at least, love in the world yet for us to all be able to resonate from that place in the heart. But it is the access point. And it is the place when we connect with that love that lifts us up closer to all of those beings of light who are supporting us. And we kind of need a little uplift so we can meet them halfway between where we are. Sometimes with people wallowing around in the mud, we want to be in a slightly elevated place to be able to connect with what's really possible for us. Our full range of resources includes all kinds of beautiful archangels, ascended masters, beautiful beings who are here to help us to heal, to grow, to gain insight. I mean, they just the blessings that we can receive from the divine are so tremendous. It's almost impossible to enumerate the whole thing. And it is, like Gretchen said too, it is in this state of gratitude in our hearts that we really open to them. Speechless? Everybody's speechless today?
I think for me too, part of it is just having that trust, that you are supported.
Mm-hmm.
And that trust enables your heart to open even more, to be open to receiving any wisdom or guidance that they're supporting you with. So sometimes I just sit in meditation, and if I'm at a point where I'm feeling challenged, I ask, what else is possible? You know, that's something that you all talk about as well. And what else is possible? You know,
Yeah.
that gives me another way to see what I'm receiving and how I can deepen that connection. And part of that is trust. You know, I'm trusting by asking that question, what else is possible?
Right.
So,
Yeah. And that, to me, that's one of the most profound questions we can ask, because we generally are in some kind of a bubble of our own creation. And if we can start exploring what is outside of that bubble, then who knows? And that's the thing, who knows what might be possible? And usually when we do that, it's something really wonderful.
Right. Yeah. What seems like an obstacle or a problem may be an opportunity
Right.
for more love and creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, it was some years ago, Philip. Most people who listen to us know our story, really, where our lives were transformed when we started to connect daily, on a daily basis, with the love we hold in our hearts through meditation. And one of the things that really stands out for me in what it did personally for me is it helped me to see myself outside of that bubble. Like what else might be possible for me. There was a time earlier in my life when I felt like I was just a really flawed individual. And I was almost embarrassed. Like anybody who is spiritually aware would be able to look at me and know that I was a deeply flawed person. Well, that wasn't true. That is the kind of illusion or misrepresentation that we hold that prevents us from opening fully to the divine. Because the truth, and if you open to the love in your heart, as I know many of you have, and many more can benefit from it, when you open to that love, you hear a completely different story about yourself. Each of us is a uniquely wonderful human being and spiritual being with something. We're here for a reason, with something special to offer. And those messages, they come to us through our hearts.
Right. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. I find a lot of connection in recognizing the synchronicities too, that are lined up. And I think the more that we're open to synchronicity in our life and not discount it,
right,
that also helps us deepen that trust and that connection from our heart. So yeah.
Right, and vice versa. When
Right.
we open to that love, which is the state of connectedness, it opens us more to that flow.
Right. It's like a symbiotic relationship, really.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's magical when you think, although many times, or in many cases, most of the time, we're not aware that everything is happening for a reason and that there is meaning in the events of our lives, the major events particularly. It becomes magical. And I think another thing is it takes the fear out of life, because we know that we're being supported also from above.
Right.
Yes. And that's one of the nice things. We've been doing a lot of connections with angels, Jane and myself, recently, and we're actually going to be offering a course on that in a couple of weeks. And you just feel much more supported and connected. And if you do invite and you need to take the initiative step, that angelic support, you realize that it's just there free for the offering.
Right.
And that seems to be part of awakening, that term, which is very well known. What are you awakening to? That means you're not awake, you're not seeing or sensing, or you're sort of sleeping through things. And there's a requirement of certain experiences and actions on your part, on our part, to awaken, to see the light, the field and receive the angels and the love.
Mhm.
And when you do that, the world changes dramatically and wonderfully.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's important too to remember that when we're feeling disconnected, we're still connected.
Mhm.
You know, where
Right. Yeah, the disconnection is an illusion.
that's an illusion.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Took me a while to understand that there's nothing objective in that idea that we're separate from any of these beings of light who are around us, or God, or or source, however you define the higher realms. It's not there. That's the bubble. We think it's there, so it's there for us, but it's not actually
Right,
there at
right.
all. I think that's such a
Right.
funny thing when you think about it. Isn't it, Buddy? Buddy loves the energy, don't you? Yes, you're a good boy. Yeah, I was thinking with synchronicity too. It also shows how meaningful our lives are. You know, you start to realize, well, gee, all of these beings, they also honor us, which is something we don't even do for ourselves. They honor us as equals to them because we are divine. We are fully connected all the way up to source. And they see that in us, but we don't see it often ourselves.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
And one of the things we are going to do in the meditation today, which I often do now, and I do it a lot with clients too and students, is to imagine going to a lofty mountaintop in your meditation. And it's very powerful because the idea in I guess in the mind of going up archetypally as an archetype, rising up, it does actually start to elevate your state. And if you go to a mountaintop where you have an expansive view, I mean, just talking about it, I can start to feel like it was more expansive. If you go to a mountaintop with a panoramic view of the world, one of those mountaintops where you can see all around, it's just magnificent. And it is love. Love is connectedness with everything and everyone. And you can really experience that very easily on the mountaintop just by going there and imagining that, being in that place and how beautiful the world is all around you. Looks like Gretchen, she might have become there she is. You got disconnected there for a minute. I thought we lost you.
Seems to be popping in and out today. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm glad you came back. Anyhow, in terms of daily practices, just imagining yourself going to the mountaintop and looking out at that panoramic view of the world, breathing in that love, that's coming from above. And then focusing, on the insights you receive in your heart from that place. We'll be doing that in the meditation today, but just to set it up as something that anybody can do, and how valuable that is. And then also how valuable that is for the world.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because if we can embrace love within ourselves, we're radiating that out. And the more of us who do that, the better.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So very exciting.
Right. I did the Mud to the Mountaintop on an interview on a podcast recently, and I actually took the host. I asked him if he wanted to do it, and went from the mud, which for him was a little concerns about some financial security. It's nice that he was open enough to do that. And then up at the mountaintop, he just saw things very beautiful. He was supported. He felt assured. He felt like he was in the right place. if you feel like you're in the right place, going in the right direction, then a lot of the insecurities disappear. A lot of the uncertainty is like, is this going to work? Is it not going to work out? Am I on the wrong track? Does it have a bad ending, so to speak? But if you think you are in the right place and you are following your heart and soul and you're supported from the mountaintop, it all shifts.
Right. Yeah. And I think there are two parts. The rising up lifts your state, and a panoramic view also lifts your state. So, and I think that's one reason why there are some places that we just go and we feel so different. Like one that I think of is when going to the beach and looking over the water, you can see, who knows, to the horizon. And it's just a very expansive kind of a view. Or being in nature on a hillside or a mountaintop, being high up in the building. We have a 2-story house. It's not a huge expansion, but I a lot of times I'll stand in the bathroom and look out the window when I'm brushing my teeth. It's upstairs, and just that, looking out, I can see the mountains beyond the city, and it's just really expansive for me. There's some very simple things we can do to expand our awareness, like Gretchen said, with gratitude, and these kinds of things where you can get a more expansive perspective are also very helpful. Another one is what we did at the beginning here is just stopping and breathing. You can stop and breathe and invite the angels and guides around you to send love all around you, and just breathe that into your body. And in just a few breaths, you probably would notice that you feel different, because it gets us out of that rational mind that wants to hold us down. We're often in the mud, like Phillip was suggesting, in a place where we're very limited, where our fears can prevail.
Yes. I find that starting out my morning with a morning gratitude prayer, just thanking for the day that I'm part of, helps kind of set the stage for the whole day too. So you start out making that connection from the time that you get up in the morning, and that carries with you throughout the day.
Right. Right. Yeah. In the morning, it's important for that reason, because you're setting the pace for the rest of the day.
Right.
And I'm appreciative now that we have the circle in the morning too, so we can be, well, it's morning in some places. It's almost morning where Gretchen is on the East Coast. But just to be able to establish with your intention the perspective that you want to hold. Because if you're not establishing it with your intention, then if you're on automatic, then who knows what might happen. You just get whatever happens to come from, the ramblings in your head, which aren't necessarily that productive. Science is also showing the truth in all of this. If you look up heart math, you might be familiar with it already, and it is really amazing how opening to the love in your heart is so nurturing for your health and longevity. And also it is a step in opening to your intuition, which just kind of naturally starts flowing from that place. So it's time well spent. When I first started doing the process that we call it soul centering, connecting with your heart and soul. When I first started doing that, I was an architect, and my life was not going in a direction that was at all enlivening to me, you might say. Like my life force just felt like it was draining from me. And when I started doing that soul centering every morning, I would get up. I had to get up a little earlier because I had a pretty regimented schedule, but I'd get up 15 minutes earlier to do it. And my life changed almost immediately. Within the first week, I would say, I started being excited about getting up in the morning, whereas before I had no desire to get up in the morning. It was one of those things, well, can't I sleep a little longer? And it's been that way ever since. That was more than 30 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel the same way. I get up very early. I love getting up early. I love connecting with the truth in my heart and soul and with the beings of light. The angels will be connecting with some angels here very soon today. What could be better? And then to approach your day from that perspective.
Mm-hmm. And you know, then you're on track and you feel productive and fulfilled rather than just surviving and busy and scattered.
Right. Yeah. I also started finding ways. I was working a regular job at the time. I started finding ways that I could make things more pleasant for myself. I remember driving to work. I would drive usually on a freeway. We lived in Sacramento at the time. And I started driving on some of the secondary roads and again, allowing maybe a little extra time. I would stop at a park and just walk through the park for about 5 minutes. There was a little lake there and, you know, ducks. And it just made me feel good. Like I had some choices, because we probably have more choices than we know. We might feel
Right.
trapped in a situation, but what can you do that would be less trapped if you feel that way? Little things. The little things usually are the things that then become big things. It's like, it also becomes kind of like it goes like this, you know, eventually the change that seems like hardly anything at first becomes huge over time.
Different trajectory, or
Right.
becomes exponential changes that were little at first.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So we could just start the meditation.
Sure.
I think I'm going to try putting you down, Bud. I don't know if he'll stay down, but we'll try it. Okay, so we're going to do actually kind of what I was suggesting before. And you can start by just closing your eyes and breathing. Just imagine taking generous breaths, like giving yourself the blessing of beautiful, fresh air, breathing in, again, love and light, imagining you're surrounded by that love and light. And as you exhale, you can release any energy within your body or around you in your energy field, anything that doesn't feel coherent with who you are and who you want to be. Just ask any energy that is not your own and that is not appropriate for you now to go back where it came from, creating more space for yourself, more space for that love and light as you breathe it in. And inviting it into all the cells of your body. I think often we forget that we have consciousness all the way into the cells of our body. And the cells love love. So as we breathe that, we can imagine now breathing in lighter energy into the cells of our body and feeling lighter to the point where we feel like we could start to float. And floating, drifting just gently, perfectly, safely upward. We're going to go to that panoramic mountaintop, the perfect one for you. A place where you have that beautiful panoramic view of the world all around you. And it's magnificent. And here we've taken that step up where we can now ask for the presence of some of those angels who are around us. We always have angels around us, and we also have archangels who are available to us for the asking. They honor our free will, so they aren't always supporting us actively, but we can ask them to support us. And I'd first like to invite in Archangel Metatron just to bless us with a beautiful downpouring of golden white sparkling light, to allow us to feel even more connected with the divine. Metatron is often thought to be one of the angels who is closest to God. All of the archangels send God's energy. They're sending aspects of God's energy to us and insights from source through them. So Metatron serves to uplift us. He's actually supporting us in a dimensional shift for humanity. And if we invite him just to send down that light, we can feel ourselves more connected. And then we can invite Archangel Chamuel to join Metatron. And Archangel Chamuel is often understood as the Archangel of love, and he comes from the heart. So different archangels connect with different aspects of our awareness and our energy system. So we can ask now to have Archangel Chamuel bless us with more loving energy. You might sense it as a beautiful pink light, different shades of pink maybe. Beautiful, beautiful loving light flowing all around us, and you can invite it into your body and again into all the cells, and particularly into your heart, because Archangel Chamuel can also help you to clear blockages that you might have in your heart. Sometimes we close our hearts down because we're protecting ourselves, our sense of that tender sense of self. We hold that in our heart. And Archangel Chamuel can help you to heal those wounds, which will allow you to open your heart more to the divine, more to love and the blessings that are here for you spiritually, more to the messages from your soul, and getting that kind of clearer, you could say clearer reception from the divine as you clear away anything that is not divine. And bring back to you parts of yourself maybe that have been stuck in other places. Just bring those back so you can feel more whole and more complete. And you may notice that you feel different about yourself. Chamuel can actually actively help you to clear those misunderstandings that you have about yourself. Like for me to believe that I was flawed. And most of us have some version of that. Like I'm undeserving or I'm not good enough. Whatever it is. I'm not this or I'm not that. Just think of all of those things that we have. You know, I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not smart enough. We're all perfect. We came to be who we are and allow that to bloom. And Chamuel can help us with that. And again, allowing yourself to release anything that is not that love in this moment. So you can open ever more fully to the truth of who you are. And this is the place you can revisit every day to learn more about the truth, about yourself being worthy of love, deserving of love, a being of love, and to understand more about the value that you hold in your heart, the value that you're here to share. Which reminds me then, I wanted to invite in also Archangel Hannah. And Hannah, she often is actually perceived as a feminine energy, as an archangel. They technically are not either male or female. They are a perfect balance of masculine and feminine, but we may perceive them more one way or the other, and some are more oriented toward one side or the other in terms of how they present themselves and the gifts they share. And Hanyel comes in different colors, but we're going to invite right now for her to present the color turquoise to us, to surround us with a beautiful turquoise light, which is the light of the new age. Just opening us to the mystery and to help us to release fears and open to revelations about the potential that we have to actually transform ourselves as human beings, or to fully embrace ourselves as human beings, and open to a world that could actually be a reflection of love and light, where everyone's gifts are honored and nurtured. Everyone comes from a loving place. And Hanyel can help us to open to that. And to receiving revelation. She connects with the third eye to receive revelations and intuition that will help to make everything clear for you individually and for us as a whole. And of course, it is all connected. You have a role for yourself, but it also is a role for all of us when you open to the truth of who you are. And just notice if you feel any different than you did when we started this. And understand that there is magic in this energy that we receive from the angels. And I want, actually, with that in mind, one of my favorite angels to connect with, I'd like to invite in also Archangel Raphael, who is known as the magician of the angelic realms. And Archangel Raphael comes in a rainbow of colors. So you can imagine surrounding yourself with this rainbow in whatever way resonates with you. I'd like to imagine sparkles of all the colors of the rainbow and invite those into the cells of my body so they can receive all the colors they want, whichever colors they want for each of the cells. And just feel that magic as you do that, sparkling light in all of the cells of your body. I start to tingle when I do that. And surrounding yourself with the magic and opening to the presence of magic in your life. Archangel Raphael, I think one of the things that drew me to him, or him to me initially too, was that he is known to be one of the most joyful angels. And you might notice as you connect with Raphael's energy that you feel joy. And just feel more of the fullness of who you are. You're fully loved by all of these beings of light. And of course, just the light of source on the mountaintop, the light of source is shining down on all of us. And through these beautiful beings that they help to kind of to pinpoint or to focus in on specifics with that are coming, of energies coming to us from our source. And I wonder, Philip and Gretchen, do either of you want to invite any other angels to join us?
No, I'm good. I'm full.
Wonderful. How about you, Gretchen?
I would like to invite in Gabriel, and the beautiful green light of Gabriel, which is very healing and is full of compassion and strength.
Have to forgive the the barking one. And just feel those blessings from Gabriel. Gabriel is also known as the messenger angel. And actually, Gabriel or any of these angels might have a message for you now. So you can open to that. Which one might have a message for you and what that message might be. Sometimes these messages can just be very simple. And I remember initially I would think, well, gosh, you know, that's too simple, but it's not. Some of the most profound of all possibilities are just very simple. In fact, usually more simple than the complexity that we imagine they have to be. And before we complete this visualization, I also want to thank all of the beings of light who are here with us, all of these angels, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Hannah, Archangel Chamuel, Raziel, and Gabriel. And they bring with them legions more of angels. You may, when you invite in the archangels, sense that there are a lot of angels around you. You can invite in healing from legions of angels. So I offer my thanks to all of them. And we're going to come back now and have a conversation, but it doesn't mean that we have to leave them. We can have them in our hearts and in our focus. And we can also, if there's something you feel you need continual healing on, like with Chamuel, you could ask Chamuel to stay with you today and help to heal any wounds that you notice in your heart. It is all your intention, what you request. So again, thank you to all of the beings of light. We can breathe in more active energy now, returning more to a normal waking state, and continue our conversation. So how was that for you?
Joined by a circle of angels. The angels were encircling the circle or joining the circle.
Mm-hmm. Right. Did anything stand out for you, Philip, in that?
Just a feeling of lightness and lifting up and reminding me of that I'm a spiritual being in a human body, having a human experience. It's interesting, if we're being fully human, that means we're sort of aware that we're a spiritual being. That would almost translate it directly into that.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed Sunny said that she feels the love and the magic and love the meditation. She gave us lots of hearts and
yeah.
Sunny's beautiful. Thank you. How about you, Gretchen?
Yeah, it's been interesting because I'm having connection problems here.
Right.
And, but each time it reconnected me, and that's a good kind of metaphor for life. You know, anytime we get disconnected, we can always reconnect. And so I felt each time I came back on and popped back in here, I could feel just another layer kind of release and calm. And the more angels that you were calling in, I felt that supportive energy and started to feel lighter about it and not quite so upset about it.
Right.
So
well, it is
that was
what is
beautiful.
what is you know,
Right.
just
Right.
this little
So
dog here is Foxy, our little girl who loves the love. She's giving me a big hug. And Buddy is jealous. They're both wanting to be here because I think they just love the energy so much.
Yeah, I'm actually really always struck by how clear the light energy comes in when you're saying the golden white energy or the different colors. I feel like that's really that comes through very clearly for me, and it's a beautiful experience.
Yeah, thank you. And it is, I think, when we're together as we are here, and those who are here live or who are here at another time, we're still here together. We can benefit from that collective energy, which does bring more power for all of us. And here's Buddy again. They're just going crazy. They must have loved it, huh? Did you like the meditation? Did you have a favorite angel? They're all magnificent, all of the angels. And I think for anyone, if you're just learning about them, if it's new, just relax with it and experience it. And you'll find that there's some who you're drawn to in particular who seem to be here more for you, which is probably true that there are some that are here for us for very specific reasons. And some you may not be drawn to quite as much. And just honor whatever you experience. And those who are nurturing you in your heart and soul, then that's a good thing. Now they're getting, oh, you get down. They get so excited, then they start playing. They must have really loved that one. They also, I think they're responding to the spring energy. They've just been playing a lot lately. They're so cute though. It's wonderful to see them loving each other. They're just adorable. Okay, so any other thoughts about the angels?
I just wanted to say while I'm still on here and not blipping in and out of existence, is something that you and I had a conversation about. And I think that's important to remind people that this angel energy is accessible to anybody.
Right.
You know, it really is. It's accessible to anyone. It does not based on your religious perspective or anything of that nature. It really is accessible to everybody. And so important, like you said, is that because we have free will, we need to invite in their support. You know, we need to ask when we need support. They're not just going to come in and intervene, you know, in our lives necessarily. Right. So just to remind people that it's accessible to everyone and just invite it in. You know, it's such beautiful energy and can really help expand your heart and take you to a much higher vibration. It's just lovely.
Right.
And simple, you know, and simple to do.
Yeah. And when we're talking about connecting or with the strengthening your connection with the divine, I think that now to me, it seems very important. I think it's a time too when the vibration of the planet is rising. So we are in a way closer. And it feels to me like it's just the most natural thing to do. For us to make the most of ourselves and to be of service to the planet for everything. And I think that's really an important point, Gretchen. We discussed how I know there was a time when years ago when, and I'm almost embarrassed to say it, I don't talk about it much, but I started receiving messages from God. And it really, it challenged me because I felt, well, who am I to say I received messages from God? Well, God is here for all of us. When you're on the mountaintop, that light of the sun, that's God. Your source is right there with you. And you can speak directly to God just as you can to any of the angels. It's all it's all there.
Yes, we are part of God, and God is in us and in everything. And it's interesting that angels are pretty accepted. At least I know in the United States, they've done surveys where they're extremely popular. It's, of course, there's written a lot about in the Bible. And at the same time, there is a certain concern or fear, like we said, can we connect with him? And it says, be not afraid in the Bible when the angels come, just because it's this powerful energy, but yet it's a loving energy. We have nothing to fear but fear itself, but you know, our own imaginary fears, because this is such a loving energy. And I'm glad we were able to share a lot of practical ways to experience the support in a direct way today.
Right. Yeah. That really is it's been life-changing, I would say, for me. I actually, having connected with God, for many years, I connected mostly with God as my source, kind of that in that light. And then through a series of events, I was in a meditation with actually a session with someone who was doing angelic Reiki with me. And Archangel Metatron came in and said he wanted to talk to me. And I thought, that's interesting. I didn't even know who Archangel Metatron was, but I connected with him, and he's the one who invited me to open to the angels and the support that we all can receive from them. And if for any reason you feel you're not worthy, I would I would suggest inviting in Archangel Chamuel to work with you to clear out these misunderstandings that you hold in your heart, because it's not true. As Gretchen said, all of us are worthy.
Yes.
There is no question.
Yes.
All of us we're part of the divine. We're not any less divine than any of these beings who we're talking about. We just don't know it.
Yeah.
So we're
Exactly.
learning. This is school.
Right.
But it's a good one,
Yes.
And I love I love how they can lift your spirits. Just inviting. I enjoy so many, but I do invite Raziel a lot of times because he's so joyful, and it just, for me, it's a really helpful energy to experience that joy. But they all have something to give us, and just beautiful, beautiful blessings.
Right. And it's so quick. It's to work with the angels in this way. Any kind of healing seems very quick. Doesn't take any time at all. Seems very quick. So it's simple, easy to use, very accessible. Not only are they accessible, but this energy is accessible and accessible to each of us. So it's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
And that brings us, of course, to the purpose of the Circle of Love and Light, which we've been talking about it throughout, but really at the end of our time together, I like to focus on sharing that love with the world. And of course, if we're holding that in our hearts, we're radiating it already. And with our intentions, we can send it to our communities, to places in the world like the Ukraine that are experiencing unbelievable suffering. We can send that love there. We can send it all around the world. I often share my globe. I have the world in my hands, and just share our love for the world and our love for planet Earth. The planet itself, which is a living being, can just thank Mother Earth for so lovingly supporting us in spite of all of the things that we're doing. And it's interesting, when I do that, I feel the love come back. I can feel it rising up from the earth. So we can make a difference. All of us can make a difference. Any of us can make a difference. And that's the thing, I think, that is really the most important, to understand that we matter. Every one of us matters. I did feel like I didn't matter years ago, and it's not a good feeling. But I don't feel that now. I feel like I can be me and I can play the role that I'm here to play, as can everyone else. So there's no competition. From a place of love, there is no competition, because we're all part of the love.
We're all unique.
Yes. Right. We're all unique aspects of the divine, you could say.
Yeah.
And another thing that I really enjoy doing is sending that love and light out to the whole week. If not further, you can just fill your whole future with that love and light. And you can send it back to the past too, to heal some of those wounds that have been there. Just send love over your whole timeline. can change what you might call your trajectory doing that, just sending love and light into that whole timeline and also asking for the beings of light to support you in being in the perfect place for your growth and guiding you. And you'll also experience that synchronicity as you go, just guiding us all on the path. Feels good. Any other comments?
No, but we want to tell people about our new course, which actually is partly about angels. It's in the title, The Abundant Living with Angels, Oracles, and EFT, using angels for awareness and awakening and healing. So that's some things people may want to attend. And the URL, the tiny URL is shortened URL is tinyurl.com/abundant-living, tinyurl.com/abundant-living. And that's, you'll find out more about that course if they want to attend.
Right. And it looks like you'll put up a link to, people can click on it. They could see that in the comment section too.
Yes.
And Gretchen, I know that you have some wonderful things that you
Yes.
are offering to the world. Would you like to share how people can find out more about you? Anything that's
Sure.
going on?
Yes, thank you so much. They can find me at spiraljourney.net, and I'm also on YouTube. And I just recently posted two new videos, one for a morning prayer meditation. It's a very short meditation, about 5.5 minutes. It's a great way to start your day with gratitude and just receiving a brand new day. And there's also an evening prayer video now, which is just a way to close out your day at the end of the day, give thanks again in a different way. And, and I work with the theta sound waves, which are very relaxing. So the evening prayer is really about kind of calming down and coming to a place of relaxation and open-heartedness as well. And you can also find me on Facebook at Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services, as well as on YouTube at Spiral Journey Holistic Life Services. So yeah, great.
And you have your own personal page on Facebook too, right? Gretchen Comer?
Yes.
Maybe become a friend.
Exactly. We would love that. We would love that. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we're going to be going further into these things with living with angels, oracles, EFT, etc. Next week, we're going to be talking about the power of using oracles to upgrade your life. And again, it's another way we combine them. Phillip and we combine them, actually, angels and oracles. And we'll be talking about that and how Gretchen uses oracles. So it's going to be wonderful. It's another fantastic resource for anyone, and it doesn't have to be complicated.
Right.
I know that for me, when I first was exposed to them, I found them to be complicated and I didn't think I could understand them. And I would read some messages and I would think, well, that's not for me. And actually that's the case. Not all the messages in each oracle are for you, but there is a message there somewhere. Yes. So it's kind of like a mystery. You're searching to find the message for you. And then it clicks and something happens. Things start respatializing. So we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I hope you'll have a chance to join us. That will be again Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Eastern time. You can also support the circle by liking our page on Facebook, which again is at facebook.com/awakenings circle. That's for Awakenings Institute. You can share this video with your friends too, which is a wonderful thing to do to spread the love. And you can invite your friends to join you again in the circle. So I hope you will join us next week. And again, sending all of that love and light out to the coming week and to each of you. So have a wonderful week, everybody.